The Naysayers is a podcast with two bozos giving opinions out there. By no stretch of the imagination are we professionals. Please don't sue us.
Welcome back to Bet Your Bottom Dollar, where we were awesome for you last week.
Absolutely.
8-1 and 1 push.
That's good odds. So, like we said, I would keep watching us, keep listening to our bets, and try and make some money.
Now let's reiterate that.
We should.
We both lost on Carolina.
Yeah, that was tough.
So technically we were actually
In sync.
Yeah, I mean we were in sync. That was a loss. Who cares? We won on the Bears, the Browns, Denver, and Tampa Bay. I was 4 for 5.
I know.
And then we won on the Rams, Bengals, and Seattle. And then the one push we had, but who cares? You don't lose any money off that.
Yeah.
Like we said, what was the Raiders and the Vikings, and that was such a bad game. Wasn't the score 3-0?
3-0.
The whole game.
Lowest
Whoever
score
watched
they've had in
that
a long
wanted to
time.
kill themselves, I'm sure.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So we did awesome last week, and let's start off this week. So these are. I felt like there was a lot of picks we could have picked this week, but these are our favorite 5 from each of us. So why don't you start us out?
Okay, so my favorite, I'm just going to give you my best one right here. And I think it's going to pay off. Trust me, ride with me. Giants versus Saints. Giants are getting 5.5. Take the Giants.
I don't hate that.
Right.
I'm with you on that.
Tommy DeVito.
Yeah, he did awesome last week. It was crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, he actually might have a job now for next year because of that game.
Right.
5.5 points is kind of a lot, but New Orleans is horrible.
Yeah, they stink.
So it depends on what car shows up. Like he can either do really good from out of nowhere, or he's absolutely insanely horrible.
Could be the 84 Pinto or the 2023 Ferrari. It all depends on what car shows up.
All right. Well, so mine, I have Denver at Detroit, and I have Denver. I'm picking Detroit, but Denver has 4.5 points.
Right.
And everybody knows, if you've watched this, I have been picking Denver lately.
Yeah.
But I'm actually going against them, and there's a couple of reasons. So Detroit's home. Their home record is 8-1.
Oh.
Goff's passer rating is 105.5 at home.
Jeez.
And they just had an embarrassing loss. So I think that they're going to come back and put it to Denver.
Right. Rally to win and rally to make us some money.
Yeah. Yep.
Nice. Okay, so I said this last week. I'm going to say it again because eventually I'll hit it, right? Maybe. I'm riding with Panthers at home getting 3 versus Atlanta.
And they're getting 3 points.
Yep.
Was that one of my...
Stay away from?
No, it wasn't. But I think I had Atlanta. But I like your pick. That'd probably be my third pick. And I usually would pick 2 stay away from. That'd probably be the third one that I would stay away from. Or ride with it, baby.
I say let's ride with it because it's got to hit. It has to.
It's got to hit.
Please.
And we're rocking it. We rocked it last week.
Yeah, so I just woke up feeling dangerous, like Baker Mayfield said.
Yeah.
So
actually, speaking of dangerous, I'm going to say a dangerous one right now.
Let's do it.
San Francisco at the Cardinals. Cardinals are getting 12.5. And I know everybody's going to be like, what's wrong with you? San Francisco's going to blow them out of the water. Well, here's some things for you. Cardinals, since Murray has been back, 6 games with no turnovers.
Wow.
So it's not like the defense has been beating them that way by scoring touchdowns or getting turnovers or anything like that. And I feel as San Francisco's had some pretty tough games lately.
Yeah.
And the defense might be a little bit tired, and they're not worried about the Cardinals
at all.
Right.
It's like a trap game kind of.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like 12.5 points. I think San Francisco is going to win.
Right.
Outright.
And not to bring up another stat, but every time Billy bets on the Cardinals, they win.
That's true.
So
I am 2-0.
2-0.
Yeah, 2-0.
2-0.
So
Let's make it
going with the
3-0.
Cardinals.
You're gonna ride with the Cardinals at 12.
Riding with the Cardinals again, baby.
I'm gonna ride too.
Go
though.
Murray.
If you say to do it, I'm gonna do it because for some reason the Cardinals win when you pick them. So that's a good one. That is a good one. Okay, so I have one that isn't quite like that, but again, I got a weird feeling. Washington versus Rams. Washington's getting 6.5. Washington's gonna win.
All right. So funny enough, they're on my list, and I'm opposite of you. So that kind of hurts. We're gonna have a loss,
Right? Yeah. Somewhat.
Whether it's me or you. I have the Rams, and this is why. Rams are the home team. I like that.
Right.
Everybody likes that. The last 3 games, they have scored over 30 points.
Jeez.
Yeah, and so with a Washington team that can't score 10 half the time, I like those odds. No turnovers in the last couple of games. The defense of Washington's really bad, and Sam Hill, his passer rating is 0.64. So he's just been horrible.
I like that.
You like?
I do. So, like your stats are great. That's why you're my favorite part of the show because I just sit here and say things and you throw out everything that's good. But I just have one of those feelings that every season there's one of these trap games, and for every team, like the Dolphins just lost to Tennessee, that was a trap game. So now the Rams, it's their turn to have a trap game, and I think Washington's going to do it.
I will say 6.5 points is a lot.
Right.
So a lot of people might just say stay away from it. Just to throw another thing for the Rams out there is that they are playing for the playoffs.
Right.
Still. So they have to win. They have to win the games that they should win, this is one of them.
Yep.
And they have to beat some tough teams out there. But I think that's why I have them, and I think they're going to beat them pretty good. Stafford and Nakua. They've been working together pretty good, So, anyways,
just take a chance.
Which one? Well, which one?
Right.
Who to trust on that one? Sorry, we're against each other on that one.
Yeah. So just do both bets.
Yeah.
Don't lose anything, but you get to see how fun it was.
Maybe you should stay away from it. Actually, I don't know.
All right, we'll see. All right, your turn.
Oh, you want me to go? Okay. So Houston, they have 3.5 points, and they're going against Tennessee. Tennessee's at home, and actually, I just want to throw this out there. Every pick I picked, I thought there was a lot of picks, but I actually went home field advantage on all of my picks this week.
Right.
Just want to throw that out there. So at Tennessee, I'm picking Tennessee. And I said that weird. Tennessee. No Stroud, no Dell. Defense not great for Houston.
Right.
Tennessee, they're in stride right now. They just beat the Miami Dolphins, which this guy would say is the #1 team in the NFL.
Everybody gets one, just like the Chiefs got one.
Well, they just wow. Wow. All right, that's funny. And on that note, I want to say thank you to Miami Dolphins because they gave us a third option to possibly get in the playoffs.
Yep.
Because if we win and they lose, we could actually win the division.
We could see.
Yeah. So thank you, Miami. Anyways.
Doubt it.
So yeah, Tennessee beating Miami, and they're going up against a team that's supposed to be pretty good. Of course, everybody's hurt.
Right, everybody out. It's 3.5 points.
3.5 points is a little rough.
Yeah.
I would have been happier with 3 points, but riding with Tennessee.
Okay. I like that. Now, this one's crazy. And I'm going to put it out there because that's just how I'm feeling this week. Okay? I want to do some crazy stuff. Jacksonville versus Ravens at Jacksonville. +3 for the Jags. I think the Jags are going to win at home.
So, I'm scared of that one.
Right.
My reasoning is because I just don't have trust in the Prince. He's put some good games together, but if you really look at it, it's games that were against not the greatest teams.
Which is this year's narrative for them.
Yeah, and they just lost last week, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Against the Browns, I think. But I don't know. It's just a game I'm really scared of. But hey, ride with it. Hopefully Shane's right. I got confidence in him.
Right.
We've been doing really good. So if you looked at that game and thought that, I'm with you, bro.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. All right, so moving on to the next one. We got Minnesota +3 at Cincinnati. I'm picking Cincinnati.
You have to right now.
Yeah, I just feel like they're awesome.
Mm-hmm.
They have the maybe that's who beat the Jags. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
It wasn't the Browns, it was Cincinnati.
Yeah.
So they won against the Colts. They won against the Jaguars. Over 600 yards in those two games for Browning. What?
Dude's a stud.
Who is this guy? Is he going to be is he going to take over?
Is it Joe Burrow who now?
Right.
It's possible.
That's my question. Could they trade Burrow? Or could they trade Browning?
I think if Browning pulls the upset for the rest of the season, gets him into the playoffs, wins a playoff game, then we can have this conversation.
Yeah, which is rough for the Bills fans because right now they're tied, and since he has the tiebreaker, so that's pretty tough. With that said, he has 4 touchdowns and 1 interception. I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I should have got the passer rating really,
Right.
but I just didn't. We could probably look it up, but it's okay. No big deal. And 34 points, not over, not under.
Right.
So if you're an over-under person, 2 games in a row, 34 points in both games.
Yeah, I would ride that.
And that's a lot. And Minnesota, they just won 3-0. I mean, it was a horrible game against whoever the heck they played.
The Raiders.
Yeah, Raiders.
Yeah.
And I mean, they just can't move the ball at all.
And now it's Dan Mullen's turn. So yeah, good luck to him.
Yeah, so I think Cincinnati is probably going to blow these guys out of the water. Yeah, it's not even going to be close. 3 points is nothing. I think.
Right. Now another close one for me is the Bucks versus the Packers. I know I've been saying ride with the Packers since I've been on this program, but I can't walk away from Baker Mayfield right now.
I know.
So I'm going to ride with the Bucks at 3.5 in Green Bay, winning.
This is pretty much a playoff game for that game is a playoff game right now.
There's so many playoff games.
Well,
you're right.
Right, but this one's a
this
huge
one's
one.
huge.
These are 2 teams that are actually right there on the fence. And again, you've been hearing us about Baker. We love him, but I'm not going to say anything.
Right.
I am going to leave it at that just because, man, I'm looking at Love and they're looking good.
They were looking good, but DeVito kind of.
I know, but I think it was just like I think that was like either a fluke or DeVito is better than what everybody thought.
We'll see.
I mean, end of the game to come back and win that game. That is a pro football player.
You know how hard it was to watch the Dolphins game and that Giants game because they're both on.
Yeah.
They were going back and forth on the TV, and I'm just like, it was tough, but it was a good game to watch on that side.
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it. Baker Mayfield, go, buddy. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Come on our broadcast. We love you.
Mm-hmm.
Podcast. Sorry.
Broadcast. Podcast. You love us. All right.
So now we have our stay away games.
Yep.
Right.
I just peeked. I didn't mean to peek.
That's okay.
So go ahead.
It's okay. I'll start it off because you already saw it. And it's my buddy's favorite team. Jets, Miami. Miami is -8.5. I mean, all I gotta say is the Jets D is good. And actually they had an offense last week. I don't know what the heck happened there, but possible no Hill, which seemed like that was a little bit of the glue that was keeping Miami together. Mostert's a little bit hurt, but he has been. So hopefully he plays. I think he's going to have a good fantasy day, by the way.
Mostert. 2-touchdown game.
And pick up Waddle, if you don't have him or whatever.
If you can get him.
Yeah. But I think I don't know who to pick. I'm staying away from it. I guess if I had to guess, was that everybody's thinking this way, and Miami's going to try to prove us wrong, and Miami's probably going to beat them by 14 or something. If I had to pick, but I'm staying away from it. I don't like that game.
I don't like to talk about betting on the Dolphins. But I'll just say this. Last time we played that good defense, we put up 34. Yeah, Hill was there, but it was all Mostert. And we had, a 99 Hail Mary return. We're missing some guys on defense. I think this might be the closest game the Dolphins play all year, where it's going to come down to the wire. Like Tennessee's game,
So you think Jets are going to cover?
I think Jets might cover.
Okay.
That's what I'll say. I'm not going to bet who wins and who loses, but I think the Jets will
But if
cover.
you had to pick, if you were going to die tomorrow,
then I would take it to the grave with me.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
All right, my other stay away from game is Kansas City at New England. New England's getting 8 points. They kind of had a resurgence too, just like the Jets. They had a little bit of offense from out of nowhere.
Yeah, Billy Zappi.
By KC's receivers, this is what I think. I'm going to stay away from this, but I'm going to throw this out there right now. This is the game where Kansas City's receivers get their shit together. I know, I just said shit. They're going to get their shit together, and they're going to have a different type of game. I think they're going to beat New England by more than 8. Not betting it, staying away from it. But I think this is it, and I think the refs will be paid very nicely so they don't get calls like they did last week.
I mean, he was offsides. But anyways.
He was offsides, but let's talk about that. He was offsides by a mile.
Right. Yeah.
And then people were posting stuff like the guy's head was over the line. No, guys, it's about the feet, where the feet are.
Yep.
So it doesn't matter if you're, hanging over or
Right.
whatever. They're looking at your feet because they're looking at the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Just want to throw that out.
And one more thing about that. For him complaining about they didn't get a warning, you don't warn the defense when they're offsides. You just call the penalty. So,
look, even if they do, like sometimes they do kind of, hey,
Right.
bud,
Yeah,
you're a little
you're doing
over
it
or
there.
whatever. My God, if you didn't see that.
sorry.
There's one-
and you're the guy looking everywhere down the line. So, it's on you, Mahomes.
I don't know if anybody saw this. I just got to throw this because I thought this was funny. There was 2 cars, and one car was in the,
Yeah.
in the middle of the road, holding
Right.
up traffic.
Yeah.
Said it was behind Tony. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, I seen
At
that.
a red light.
It was out at the intersection.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. There's some funny things about that. I think it's going to be a blowout and a shutout.
So you would bet on this?
No.
For who? Who you picking?
Kansas City's going to shut up.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be, I would say,
But
31-0.
would you stay away from it then?
Yeah, absolutely, because nothing's going to help you there. 8.5 to the Pats. They're not even going to cover that, like, on the scoreboard whatsoever. It's going to be a shutout.
So yeah, you think Kansas City's going to beat them by like 30?
Yeah, and I said that once about another team, but this one I feel. So, I felt it last time, but just trust me. That game's a horrible game. And we all know Bill's on his way out now that the Chargers got rid of their head coach and GM.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that was, I saw that yesterday. That's crazy.
Now, I do have one game I'd like to stay away from.
Okay.
They're playing up there in good old Buffalo. Now, I know who's going to win this game, but there's no way to really make some good money off it because it's only 1.5 points.
Yeah, it actually went up to 2.5 now.
Oh, it did? Okay.
Yep, just today.
Still, you can't because that's just home field
I
advantage.
just happened to see it. Of course, Bills are my team, so.
And you got Buffalo walking around like, hey, we can play football again. We could do this and do that. But now you're playing Dallas. And I think Dallas has pulled it together. Like, there's no more questions. I was right about that game. You were right about that game. Last thing I said on the last episode was they're going to beat that narrative of not beating good teams. Well, they did.
Yep.
Now, you're going to play Buffalo, who is playing, on the rebound, playing to win. I just don't think they're going to get it done there.
Yeah, it is a good stay away from game. It really is because if Buffalo wins, man, what a narrative that is. They are in the driver's seat for the playoffs.
Scripted.
Maybe. But that's a huge game for Bills if they win.
Absolutely.
If they lose, they still have a chance for the playoffs, but man, it's really tough to get there. Right. They'd either have to win the division, which could come down to the last game with Miami,
Right.
or got to have some of these other teams lose, like Denver and I mean Cincinnati, who's rocking it right now. I mean, so it's very hard to get there.
Right.
So go Bills. Hopefully they win. But yeah, that's a good one to stay away from.
Right.
I'm a little scared of that game.
Absolutely. That one's tough.
Yeah, I mean they gotta. I will say this. So the Bills do have last couple games have, we always pick on their run game, but they've actually put Cook out there, and he's been doing good. He's had over 100 yards.
Right. I think he's better receiving than he is rushing.
Absolutely.
So.
Right. But at least we have some rushing going on.
Yeah.
It just depends on play calling. Last week there was so many screenplays. I don't know what the heck.
So it'll be fun to watch. There's one more we got to talk about before we end this program, and it's Eagles Seahawks. Give me your take.
Okay. Caught me off guard with that. But so my take on that is Eagles Seahawks. I think Seahawks are getting 3, right?
Correct.
Okay. So Seahawks in the last few games have put up some big numbers on offense. Against the Cowboys. Yes, the Cowboys won, but still put up huge numbers. And I think that they can do it against the Eagles, who are kind of falling apart on defense. And I think they're going to cover. I think I'll take the Seahawks on that one.
I'm going to ride with that too. So, this show is going to be out today. The games are going to be on. Bet with us. Comment. Tell us how you did. Give us some feedback on where we're betting, what you see, some of the changes and things like that. And please tune in next episode.
Thanks, buddy. That was great. I think. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for watching.
Watch us, man. We are good. I promise.
Yeah, as you can see, last week showed it. So good hopefully we carry it this week.
This was good, man. You did good today.
We did it.
Boom. Cincinnati, -3. Indy, -1.5. Detroit, -5. Chicago, +3. Green Bay, -3.5. Tennessee, -3.5. The Giants. I have Atlanta, Rams, Arizona, Buffalo, Baltimore, and Seattle. Just so it's on the TV.